Okay, this is for 2014 Mazda 6 center console. You might have noticed this is in my kitchen sink, right? Because I've already taken it out. Not to worry if you're not sure how to do that. This whole entire thing, just literally, you lift it up, pull it straight up. All right, so what happened with mine, this entire unit right there, the center control, fell down inside. And because it's got it's got four little tiny, cheap ass, I don't even think you could call them connectors. And I'm driving along, and all of a sudden, this thing just drops into the inside of the console, and they broke off. So I'm gonna go through this real quick. Shouldn't take but only a few seconds. All right, first off, what you're gonna have to do: unsnap this, right? Unzip it, right? And whether this is in or out doesn't make a difference. Sometimes people get drinks mixed, in there, and Coke is sticking the buttons and stuff. So this will cover all those too, no matter what. Of course, you got your cup holder. All right, so you see how this is. All right, I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna show you the repair because this is what I had to do. Because there's no kits, and unless you want to buy, if this is still working, this is your center control part. Let me turn it over. That part right there, right? But the little tiny plastic pieces that go right here, and if you can see it, yeah, barely. There it is, and those all broke off from dry rot, and this whole entire unit just fell into the center console. I was pissed because there's no repair kit to repair this, right? So this is perfectly fine, but I can't repair it. I'm like, so I checked the price and okay, I'll just go buy a new one. $379. So what I found, from $279 to $379, right, for this. So if you're like me, you're like, oh hell no, I ain't spending $400 for this one. All I gotta do is connect it, right? So after a lot of thinking and a lot of worrying and crap, and trying to figure out how to get the center console out, first thing I did was I undid, I was telling you about this, your boot that goes over your emergency brake. Pull the emergency brake up as high up as you can. Then unsnap it, unzip it. Then you're going to take this, and this connects, and I'm going to show you. My phone will zoom in. See this? These are little connectors. So you got one, and then this might be easier doing it this way. Let me show you from this. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's another one. Okay. There's one. They got this one in the middle. And this one has some metal tabs on it. And they don't tell you in any of the instructions or the breakdown manuals or anything that this is there. Don't break this or you'll really be sorry. If you have to, gently slide a small, thin screwdriver down in there, flat head, and try and loosen it that way. Again, another one. Okay. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And then, that wasn't enough, right? Then you've got one more right here. And you get another one. So that's a lot of them, right? Cool. So, pull this whole entire thing straight up. This is, of course, upside down. But you're just gonna move my hand out of the way. You're just gonna lift it straight up, right? And it comes out. Boom. All right. You can undo these. These little plastic tabs are gonna. Oops. These little plastic tabs are gonna break on you. They suck. They're cheap. They'll never. I mean, they're not even a solid piece, right? There's like a 32nd or maybe even a 64th. I'd say more like a 64th where they connect to this unit. It's dumb. All right. So we get this thing lifted up a little bit, but before you go any further, this right here has got a plug in it, and this won't let you take it out until you get this. And this has a squeeze plug, okay? So you got to get your hands in there and squeeze the little tab in, and then wiggle it around, pull it out, done deal, right? So next thing you're going to do, take this out, bring it in the house, do like I did, where now I'm in the kitchen. Go ahead, wash the whole thing out, paper towel it dry, everything will be right. Don't do it with this in there. This has to be separate. If you got to pull this apart, there's like, I think 5 screws on there. You can pull it apart, clean out inside all the buttons around the little white part, and get the sticky stuff out. You don't need to use any solvents, just some 409 on a paper towel. Okay? Spray the paper towel, not the electronics. Clean out the Coke or whatever's in there that's making the buttons stick at all. Dry them off. You can put them back together just the way you found it. Boom. This is put it back together. This is it. Okay. This is plumbing tape. This metal strip. This is plumbing strap tape. You can get it at Lowe's. It only costs a few dollars. The way you need to cut it, you can cut it with a pair of tin snips, right? So I took a piece and then I shaped it. In fact, the first one I did, these ones were the hardest because they're inside. So if you notice, I kind of shaped it round. Same thing. So then the very first one I did was this one, because you can see it's underneath. And I shaped it round, screwed it down first. Then I pulled it over and kind of shaped it and pulled it tight till it got down here. Then I screwed that one in after I cut it. I measured it out, cut it, then screwed the other half in. Then I started with this one, shaped it again so it's not bumping into anything or cutting anything. Same thing, brought it over the top of this. And then measured it out, cut the piece, screwed it down. Sucker's tight. But, alright, so here we are, like in my car. Right? I can smack it, beat on it. It's not coming out. Alright. Now, a word of warning. If you tighten down those straps too tight, the buttons will stick. And you won't be able to get them back up until you loosen the screws. So loosen the screws. Make it where you can, to where it'll pop up and down on its own freely. It puts it in a bind if you screw it down too tight. So if that's happening, back out the screws a little bit. They're plenty long enough to let you do it. You got it. Okay? Then you go back, put this back in your car, and make sure you line everything up. Make sure nothing is bent or tweaked. And very carefully, gently, put it back down inside the console area. Make sure all the little clips all around the edges all line up. Don't try to force it. They should actually just line up and slide in, and then you push it down real good and you'll hear them click as you go around. You should, and you're done. Make sure you hook this up before you go in the put it in there. It'd be like really bad to have to undo this all and put it in there. Okay, afterthought. So there it is. Right, this is taking me all of about 20 minutes. It shouldn't take you, I mean, doing the videos almost as long as it's taking me to do the repair. Right, there you go. There's your fix. Bye. Okay, so here I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put this back in. I'm gonna do the install and kind of let you see what I'm doing. Right, so here's where the console came out of, right? There it goes. Right, so when I took it out, bring this up, set your emergency brake. You should always do that anyways, right? This is the little clip I was telling you about. And one side of it, see one side of this, let me get my phone there right. One side is flat and smooth. On one side, it's got this little tiny plastic squeeze clip. If you worked on cars, you know what I'm talking about. That's got to go in it. Okay? Right. So, I was telling you about where these things plug in at. Where the little clips are. One, there, 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 there. Well, this is all the way back, but there's a couple under here. Right, same thing here. Right. Anyways, you get the idea. They're all down the edges and everything. And everything has to line up pretty smooth. So inspect these, all my clips. Right, making sure all these are all nice and straight. These are the things that you got to really be careful about. This one, These ones right here, these little plastic tabbies that they're not broke. If you get these, you're gonna make sure these things are straight as an arrow and that they go in properly. Because if they don't, you're gonna have a really bad day in the universe. So upon inspecting them, because I pulled mine straight up instead of jamming them around and yanking on them, they all work fine. So let me check my last one. And this is the one that goes up by the front that's nobody tells you about. See, and this has got this little tab in there, so you got to kind of push it. And that's where the flat screwdriver come in. But you want to have tape on it so you don't mess up these edges around this. Okay? Alright, so let's get this going. Alright. First thing, line this thing up the right way. Put it over the top. So now, see, I got it back where it's supposed to go. And I'm going to sit you down for a minute. And give me a sec. I'm going to hook up the little switch underneath. Easy peasy. Yeah, like I said, real easy, right? If I can find it. Got it going sideways, the wrong direction. And, well, maybe it'd be easier to just do it where you're looking at it, right? There. Alright, so, I want to show you this. Alright, so, what I did, and where am I? Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's my plug. Okay, so I plugged it in first before I put it over the emergency brake. So that's next. So line it up, pull it all through, get everything kind of lined up. One of the things you're going to find, like what I'm doing right now, see, you have to open the door of your storage area so everything lines up. Okay, and I get these where they're supposed to go, and line these ones up. And that's it.